Basic computer operations. So we'll start with computer. It is related to laptops and tablets and today's smartphone. But the basic understanding, computer has two parts. Computer system has two parts. If you take the name of computer and just leave R, it means compute. That is some mathematical, some analytical, some relational, some logical computing it will do. What it is trained for, or what are the parts or hardware it is be equipped with, okay, for it is trained or equipped with. So computer computes, in a simple word. It does your work easily. So computer consists of two parts. One is hardware, the other one is software. Hardware is that part that you can touch. You can see also and you can touch also. Like the monitor, like the keyboard, like the CPU, like the processor, like the wires, like the SMPS, like the mouse. Everything you can touch, USB device, everything you can touch. These are all hardware, or you can say all the electronic thing are hardware. And now comes the software. Now software is that ware which is soft. What does it mean? It means you cannot touch it. You can only feel experience. This software it's a program. Software are programs. It is written in C, C++, Java, Python, assembly language. So this software will make the hardware work. So if you take the basic definition, software and hardware, the difference is hardware you can touch, software you cannot touch. Basic difference. See, this is a monitor. As I said, you can touch it. You can touch your monitor. You can clean your monitor. How can you clean your software? So, hardware is of no use until you have a software. Okay? When you talk about computers, it's not always, because there are hardwares which don't have software and they work. Okay, so these are certain differences which I wanted to show here. Since we are talking about software, one of the most important software is operating system. It's a link between a hardware and software. What makes hardware work? What makes software work? So it's an interlinking or a kind of upping of these two is done by operating system. Operating system, OS. So it's first is operating system by itself is a software. It is written in some language, mostly in the assembly language. Okay. So whenever you switch your computer on, operating system is not the first thing, but it is one of the first thing that starts, that keeps up. Okay. There are certain basic activity. We'll talk about POST and BIOS, post on self-test and basic input-output system. So this BIOS and post will check, RAM is working, hardware is corrected properly, there is no problem in the hardware. And once this is checked, this take a very short while. And after that, this operating system is loaded on the RAM, random access memory. And now this operating system you start. This will also take some time because there are so many memory management, device management, all these is done by the operating system. So whenever we are talking about computer, we are also talking about laptop, desktop, etc. And also the smartphone. Smartphone itself has operating systems. Okay, you have the Apple iOS. iOS is the operating system for Apple. Android is for various different machines, computers, and these smartphones. The basic is Ubuntu, but the start was Microsoft Windows. The first operating system was DOS, disk operating system. It was only on 1.44 diskette, So total operating system was on a disk, very small disk, 1.44 MB, you can imagine. So this is how Windows 3.1, then Windows 95, 98, then we have Windows 10 now. Then Ubuntu is basically the Linux based operating system which has come operating system, free, open source. Then we have a Mac OS. The Apple systems have operating system called Mac OS. Smartphones, normally we find Android operating system right now. It's customized for a small device like smartphones. So mobile devices have this system, okay, an operating system. Mobile devices have operating system. As I just suggested, iOS for Apple, Android in different. This is also backed by Google. Google is a very big company. So all the computer applications or software or programs like your browser, you deal with www, World Wide Web, through websites. You can open websites here. You can play games. You can have office tools for your editing like PowerPoint, like Excel, like Access, like your Word, the most widely used office tool. These are all software programs. They are written in certain language, programming language. Okay. So there has to be a in between which take care of hardware and software together, and that is the operating system, the linking software or the key software, main software. This is an example of mobile Android OS. This is Ubuntu desktop. If you know Windows, you'll be able to know Ubuntu very easily. Ubuntu, you are aware, you can work on Windows. They're almost same. Only the look and feel is changed, but the background technology is also different. When a computer is being started, what do? You just press a button and then everything starts. Now let me take an example. You are sleeping and you are just woken up by your father, and your father says, "Hey, come on, do your homework now." You just woke up. How can you do your homework immediately? You have to go to the toilet. You have to do all the daily activities. You are still feeling sleepy, especially the kids. They are again sleep. So to come to the actual form of daily routine, daily activity, you need some time, maybe 15-20 minutes or half an hour. You cannot just start doing work. Similarly, these daily activities, if you correspond it to the computer also has to do certain activities, some basic activities. Whenever you press the button on the cabinet or the CPU, you are switching it on. So there are certain basic processes and functions that computer do. Before a user like you and me can give instructions, and the computer can get, or the operating system can receive the instruction and do the work accordingly. To start a computer, the power button, as I said, on CPU you switch. This will start the operating system. It can be any operating system. And then it will display the desktop on the monitor, your screen. This can be Windows, this can be Ubuntu. So there are certain work like the memory check, like the hardware check. Everything is done. If you open your operating system, there is ROM. In ROM, the POST and BIOS are stored. For example, if you just take an example of Dell. If your computer is of Dell, the screen will come for Dell. If the computer is of HP, the first screen will come as HP. How does Dell and HP comes? This is because there is a program by Dell company stored on that ROM, and that ROM is basically responsible for your computer to go on, to check the hardwares, to do all the basic activity before even the operating system can be loaded on the random access memory, that is RAM. See, if you switch on your computer, there will be 6 beeps. 6 beeps means RAM is not working. So before the hardware can work properly, only then the operating system will go up. Otherwise, operating system will never load. There will be the problem being shown to you. Oh, there is a problem in RAM. First fix the RAM and then come. In the RAM, if it is working properly, the RAM will itself have a space for OS. This OS will be loaded in the RAM, and then things will get the way you want. So this toilet and breakfast, all this is when computer wakes up, it goes up to certain screen where you can start working. There are certain basic functions performed when a computer starts. It can be a laptop, it can be a tablet, it can be a smartphone even. So these are the pictures, right one. You see there are certain line will come. So there is a morning routine, as I said. Computer automatically runs a basic program. Nobody will tell you do toothpaste or brush your teeth or go to the toilet. Nobody will say you. You have to go by yourself. It is all, everybody needs. Similarly, every computer or a computing device needs some basic program that is called, as I said, it is placed on ROM, read-only memory, that is BIOS, basic input output system. It will check whenever you put your switch on of the computer. BIOS is basically self-test. It will check for all the hardware parts whether they are up, they are working or not. It will send some signal and it will take it back. It can be RAM, HDD, it can be power, everything it will be checked before the software can be loaded. Once this hardware is checked, it is verified. Now the operating system will be loaded. Now your computer or the operating system is ready to take your information to input. So now this username and password will come. Sometimes it will not come if you are just dealing with your system and you are the only user. But if you have multiple users, for example, you are two brothers, you have different rooms. If you are not having different rooms, you might have one room, but you will be keeping your stuff like your clothes, like your shoes differently. Say in an almirah on different shelves. If you keep them together, there will be a problem. There will be a conflict. So when a computer or a system is used by various people, multiple people, then there has to be some way to enter, to authenticate different users. Because everyone will have different files, folders, everyone needs their privacy, their space. Okay? The way you keep your shoes and clothes in a different way, your brother is keeping. In computer, you have a different place. So in order to access that, in a computer you have login ID and password. So these three people have different login IDs and password. Login is to go inside, ID is a proper identification, and password is for authentication and verification. For example, two people, they have different keys for their room, right? Similarly, you have key for computer entrance. You have a proper ID and password, and these are unique to you. The combination will be checked by the operating system. Okay, this is the first person. The second person will come with a unique ID and password. The third person will do the same. Okay. So this is a way the computer does or act, or the software checks for you to enter and the other person to enter, and keep your spaces differently, keep your work differently, in a different way, in a separate space is provided. This is how you sign in Windows. This is an example picture is showing. You are being authenticated only when you have correct username and password. If the fourth person is coming, he will register. He will also create his own username and password, and then fourth person can also enter. So when you log in, as I just suggested, the computer knows that you are authorized to use this computer. So you are an authorized person. And now it will allow you to work in your personal space. Right? For a person, A is username, B is password. The second person, C is username, D is password. So the second person has to enter C and D. If he enters C and say X, it will not allow, computer will not allow, operating system will not allow to enter, to make him enter, to allow him to enter. So the other person can, if he is using if I give you my username password, you can always enter. Okay. So the operating system first, if you are working on a multiple computer which is used by multiple people, if you are working yourself, you don't need username and password. You can always, you cannot have any login ID. It's just used by yourself. Once you are done, what will you do? You will log out or shut down. Log out is coming out of your personal space, but the computer is still on. Shut down is coming out of your personal space, and then you are switching off the system also. So once your work is done, you shut down the computer. So there are different operating systems, different options are given. Okay, and idea is the same. Ubuntu also has different version. Windows has also a different version. The way of logging off and way of shutting down are similar, in a way different, but they are similar. So there is if you are working in Ubuntu systems, at the top right, shutdown is there. Logout is just coming out of your login, not shutting down the computer. Okay? The other person will do the same. You have to log out. Then only other person can enter. And here you see, you can also shut down. Sometimes there is something you need to do. You can restart the computer also. Okay? Operating system will close all the application and turn off your computer if you do the shutdown. Shutdown is basically switching off the machine. So computer, laptop or mobile, you need a keyboard, you need an input device, because you may be entering, say, text from A to Z, numbers 0 to 9, symbols, special characters or commands. So all these have to be given to your computer or computing device so that it can process and give you the result. So a keyboard in any of these devices will take these numerals or alphabets, special characters or even the commands. This is through keyboard. This is just a traditional conventional type of keyboard I am trying to depict here. But nowadays these have changed immensely. The design have changed. ASDF, QWERTY, this is the name. I'll just show you why this is ASDF. See, ASDF. So that is why it is called ASDF. The upper line you see QWERTY, CQWERTY. So this is how QWERTY and ASDF is the type of keyboard. Okay. So the things in different keyboard, the keys will be different in different position, but the action will be same. From F1 to F12, the topmost, if you see here, these are the function keys. The keys being labeled from F1 to F12, these are called function keys. So they have a specific function depending upon the program. So every program has different way of dealing, For example, you take any program, normally say MS Word, and you press F1 key, you hit F1 key. This F1 key pressing will give you the help document. So this F1 is normally used for invoking the help file of the application of the program. Okay. Normally F1 is help, but it may be in certain program, it may be for some other purpose. Control keys. What are these control keys? Let me show you. First of all, the control key is control key only. So we have a CTRL, control key we have. Okay. Then we have Alt, Shift. So we have a space bar, caps lock, tab. So these are all the control keys. Tab is space bar only, means 4 spaces. So wherever it is used, it will be, by itself it will work, or it will work in combination. If you say control, along with this control, if you press C, so whichever content you have selected, it will be copied to a, there is a board, you call it as a, in between. So it is pasted there, it is copied to the blackboard, and then once you press Control C with control, and in another document or in the same document you press now Control with V together, so this content will be pasted here. So this is how the control is a control key, works along with other keys. Shift, see every keys, if you see there are certain keys have 2 symbols, 2 characters given. Okay, say then if you press Shift, the above character will be printed, otherwise the lower one. Caps lock, it will make this smaller to capital and capital to smaller. Like you are writing ABCD. If you press ABCD, then you type, it will be capital ABCD. Alt is also with, with different combination. Okay. Tab is four character. You see, enter is the biggest key, not the longest. If you are being asked what is the longest key, it's space bar. And which is the biggest one? It is enter, because it will be used everywhere. Basically, it's a command giving key. So enter or return, depending upon the system or brand you have, it will work. It basically, as I said, it works as a final key. Something you have written, say on WhatsApp you are messaging something, then you press enter, the message will be sent. Okay. So if say you right click from a mouse a file, you come to delete the option and then you press enter, what will happen? Enter will delete the file. You can do it by mouse also, but enter is for basically the final touch. And again, it can take you to do the commands, and or if you want to confirm a task, that is the final touch it will give. Coming to punctuation key. Punctuation in English, what we have? We have colon, semicolon, question mark, the single quotation mark and double quotation mark. So normally in programming in programming language, all these are used in normal typing, MS Word, text document. Okay. You are going to write some book name or some quote, so you will give the double quotes. I'll just show you the punctuation marks here. These are the punctuation keys, and some of the keys have the upper and lower. So you press shift, the upper will come. If you don't press shift, the lower character will come, because there are keys which will have two characters at the same time. The shift will toggle you between these two. Now navigation key. Navigation is simply moving, going up, down, like this. So we have home, arrow keys, and page up, page down. These are navigation keys. So you need to move up, down, right and left in a document. Then you will use all these keys. Home and end keys, what they will do? They'll move the cursor to the left or right end of the line of text. So there is a line of text, home and end will take you to the first and last. So if you see these are the navigation keys. Okay. There are certain navigation keys above also. So page up, page down also is there. If you see on the top one, this is page up, page down. Okay. So it's basically navigates through your document so that you can go as per your will on your document. Then we have command key. Command keys, see, for example, you have A, B, C, D. Now you came here at C, the cursor. Now you press the insert key, you turn on the insert, and now you override this character. Right? If you delete it, this whole will be deleted. Backspace, if you put a cursor, the previous one will be deleted. Previous character will be deleted. Insert has to be turned on. Delete, backspace, they all will remove the text character. Okay. Delete where the cursor is, backspace the character which is previous to the cursor. So let me show you the command keys also. So if you see, these are the command keys. Okay, insert, delete. So this basically the key combination has navigation also and command also. So there are certain ways in which these keys can be used in a multiple way, depending upon the application, depending upon the app you are working. Okay. And there is a window key also. In a keyboard, you always see a window key. When you press this window key, the start menu will open. The start menu will contain of or consist of different options of the programs and also the shutdown, log off activity. Along with keyboard, mouse is also an input device. A mouse will make you move freely, free hand. So mouse is a small device We can use it to move, select, open items on a computer screen. So you are moving, you are freely, just by a movement of your hand, you are moving the mouse, and the cursor, wherever it is going, the pointer of the mouse where it is going, you have different activities or act function that you can perform. So rolling over or hovering is going to certain item, certain file, certain folder. Then point and click, just select that and click. Drag and drop means press your button, take it somewhere and leave it, and double click will open it. I'll give you an example. So this is a file explorer of window. I'm creating a new folder. Let us name it as 1. One more new folder, 2. Let us name it as 2. Let us make one more folder, that is 3. Okay, 3 folders I have made. Now in these 3 folders I am hovering now. This is rolling over or hovering. When I am taking my mouse, the different folders are being selected. This is rolling over or hovering over. Point and click, let us see. Now I'll take here and I'll click. It is just hovering, but once I want to select, what will come? So let me make a file here. New, I'm right clicking mouse and I have created a new Word document. Again right click, new, say text document. Say text document, anything, PowerPoint document you can choose. So I'm creating or making a new document. These are files. 1, 2, 3 a folder. These are 2 files. Now when I selected it and right click. So when I selected, it is permanently selected. So that is selecting. And now I've pressed delete also. Now I am renaming this file. So these are the different options, the mouse functions I am trying to show you. So point and click I showed you. When I came here, single click is selection. Single click is hovering, is just going over it. Single click means selecting it. And double click means opening it. When you double click on this file or folder, it will open that file or folder. Right? Now coming to 3, it's free now. Let me make it's empty. Now let me make another file. Create a file, new bitmap image. Now I am taking this one. I want this file to be transferred. So I'll just right click, cut, go back to any other folder and right click and paste. So cutting and pasting. Now the file which was in 3rd folder, it is now on the 2nd folder. Now I can just drag and drop. I just took it and dragged it, but the problem is I already opened it, if you remember. So I have to delete it now. I cannot drag and drop until the file is open. So let me I'm again using the mouse, crossing it. Now I will drag it and drop it. Means mouse I pressed, then I dragged it, and then I left the mouse button. So this is how I have not left it. Now I am leaving it. So now that new file, Word file, has now dropped into folder 1. This is drag and drop. And this is moving a file from one place to another, one folder to another, one location to another. Okay. So you have to double click to open. Means all these action I showed you, you can do it by your mouse. Now let us see the progress, what we have learned. Which of the following functions are performed using a mouse? Choose and tick all the correct options. So see, these are the answers also for your reference. So turning off the computer, you cannot do it by mouse. You have to press proper button. You have to push a button so that the computer turns on. So just remove it. Typing you cannot do with mouse. After typing, you can do various activities with mouse, but typing you cannot do with my mouse. So what are remaining? Right click and drag and drop. Right click I showed you. Okay. See, this right click, I am right clicking on it. So there are so many options come here, and open. So just right click and just open. You'll see we have a file inside this folder. Okay. Now right click and drag and drop of an icon you can always do. Okay. Third one, I'm just dragging it, taking it and putting it in the folder. Actually I'm throwing it, just pressing mouse button and just throwing it. So drag and drop an icon. What is the term used when you press and hold the left mouse key and move the mouse around? So, see, when you press and hold the left mouse key, okay, left, and move the mouse around, that is you are selecting. Okay, selecting. So it can be highlighting, but you are not, it depends on the application. If you are doing it on, say, Adobe, the reader, Acrobat reader, you are highlighting, but because you cannot edit there. But if you are doing it in Word, I'm just making a new Word here, Word document, I'll just show you. I'm making a new Word document, I'll type something here, then I'll show you what selecting means. I'm writing computer. Now I am pressing mouse button and now I am selecting it. Okay, this is mouse selection I am doing. I hope you got the idea. This is selecting. The answer, you might be confused with highlighting and dragging and moving. It's not. It's basically selecting, because the question specifically is asking about pressing the left button and then moving it around, mouse around. Okay. Dragging is simply when you press and then you leave the mouse at somewhere. Rearrange the steps for starting a computer in the correct sequence. So what will you do first? First thing is you have to press a button, of course. So when you press a button, power on, self-test and BIOS will start. So first thing is you have to press the button and post and BIOS will start. POST, power on, self-test. ROM, basically ROM has that program, and BIOS and post will be conducted by it. So post and BIOS, power on, self-test and basic input output system. Second is operating system will be loaded into RAM and it will get started. Third thing will be, now your operating system will give you the welcome screen. Welcome and etc. it will be shown. Fourth is, now a login screen will come so that you can enter inside your login password with your credential inside your space. And finally, desktop appears after login. Finally, your desktop where you can start working will be shown here. After login, you will be getting this, your desktop ready to work. So this is the way: first, second, third, this is fourth, and this is fifth. This is the rearrangement. Short answer question, let us see. Describe the functions of at least 5 types of keys. We already seen, but still we'll just go through it. So there are different types of keys, function keys. Okay, I'll take you to the keyboard again. The key labeled from F1 to F12 are function keys. It performs specific function and it differs from program to program. Control keys like CTRL, Control, Shift, Spacebar, Alt, Caps Lock, Tab. These are special control keys. And again, it works in a different way depending upon where it is used. Enter key, or a return key also it is called. It is used to move the cursor to the beginning of a new line. Also, it takes command and confirm a task. That is, if you want, that is the last thing we do, enter key. Punctuation mark are colon, semicolon, question mark, single quotes, double quotes, punctuation marks. So this is used in programming, this is used in typing, the various ways it is used in places. Navigation keys like arrow keys, home, and page up, page down. You have to navigate. You need to navigate. How do you navigate? You navigate through this: page up, page down, home, and you want to come to the first of the line, last of the line. Describe the function of a mouse. Mouse, roll over, hover. That is, if you have a folder and yet these are documents. Now you are taking the mouse over it. You are not clicking it. You are not pressing it, your mouse button. It's just you are moving it. So wherever you are moving, on which top it is, it will be shown like this. See, it is opening, but I am just hovering, and now Now second thing is point and click. You are selecting, I just showed you. Drag and drop. Take a certain point, press your button, and now without leaving your button, just drag it. Take it somewhere. Double click is just for opening. You have to click it twice, mouse button. Okay, this is all about this discussion. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.